What is going on, family? Um, Admittedly, I'm feeling a lot better. Outside of their care, I've been doing my own exercises and workouts involving, I want to say they're called resistance bands. There we go. So, um, and I do encourage that to anybody that's in the hospital for any reason. If you can get your hands on your own before you get in the hospital, that's perfectly fine, or rehab. But definitely get your hands on a set of resistance bands, whatever um, range of resistance works for you, because they are absolutely a game changer. And honestly, the only reason that I can keep a timeline that they're okay with as far as progression, being not of a normal type of person that they relate their timelines to. Basically, long story incredibly short, being a bigger guy, this works and kind of levels the playing field for the fact that their standards have to do with smaller people. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Generally speaking, I'm feeling better. A lot of the swelling has gone down, or at least stabilized to wherever it's gonna sit for now. Once I get out of here, which is gonna be tomorrow, they're switching me to a um, uh, antibiotic that's gonna be taken by the mouth, which is probably gonna be something I do once or twice a day, something like that. Um, Chances are I'm not gonna end up in a rehab facility. I'm gonna end up doing outpatient wound care and basically just doing my own thing. So once I get back to Milwaukee, I guess you could kind of say, aside from dealing with the wound care stuff and the swollen leg, life will kind of sort of go back to normal, or as close to normal as possible. We'll see how that plays out, because I don't necessarily feel normal enough to go back to what I was doing and feel comfortable with me being able to do it all the way that I was doing it before, or even half of what I was doing before. But that's his life, and I gotta do what I gotta do. So yeah, that's pretty much the main update. I have arranged things so that I have a means of getting back home. I have somebody coming down to help me drive back up to Milwaukee, so that'll be happening tomorrow. Today is Friday, the 21st. But that'll be happening tomorrow, and it's pretty much just biding my time until then, continuing to do what I do as my energy levels permit to exercise and quote unquote get back on my feet. I guess it's somewhat of an accomplishment today that I walked on my new walker. They got me a walker. It's the biggest that they could possibly give me, and it's still too small, like I knew it would be. But that's okay. They're trying, and I appreciate the effort. But yeah, distance-wise, I covered about 80 feet today walking, which is cool and all. But like I was telling me, physical therapist, the distance that I can walk isn't as important as how well I can walk. So I would have preferred, honestly, if we would have focused on exercises that I could do that improve the quality of my range of motion, the way that I step, my gait, yada yada yada, involving the process of walking. And then when it came time to do the little daily thing, then I could, see using the distance that I'm able to walk as a measurement of proof of improvement. But they don't really give me exercises that are designed for getting better at walking or getting better at standing. They're more so a little bit of flexibility. That's pretty much all I can really remember from the exercises that they gave me. Mostly flexibility and a little bit of strength, but it's very, very, very basic stuff. Definitely outside of the realm of someone like me, who is basically falls into the category of oversized, as well as being an athlete that is currently not functioning at proper capacity. So there are things that I'm very well capable of, and then there's a lot that I just can't quite do properly because of my current conditions. I can say that now because the sepsis thing is its own condition separate from recovering from the double knee surgery. You gotta love the sandwich effect going on there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really need to say in terms of how well things are going. Trying to think if there was anything else I need to cover, honestly, and I don't think there is. Doing the best I can with building up my range of motion in my infected leg. But I will admit it looked given the joke that just popped into my head about being infected and the game Resident Evil, it kind of has that look about it as well. I'm not gonna show you guys, but yeah, it's not a fun sight. But working on my flexibility is helping with what's left of the swelling. I still don't know why they didn't have the they didn't bother with popping the blisters that came about in regards to all of this, because I feel like leaking those out would have been helpful to the overall premise of getting my foot back to normal, getting my leg back to normal, and getting all of the infected fluids out of my system. But some of them are still there, some of them have kind of, I guess you could say, reabsorbed themselves. It's hard to describe it. It just kind of looked like somewhere a blister was, but now the part of the flesh that would have been bulbous is now wrinkled and kind of flat, like deflated. But yeah, hopefully I can find a solution to the major part of this problem that involves me not really being able to solidly, consistently put weight on the infected foot. Which honestly, I think it's just because, primarily because I have the swelling, and the swelling is just getting in the way of general functionality. But there's also the hole that's slowly healing in my leg. So hopefully the muscle structure that was there goes back to what it was, or at least a semblance of what it was before they put a hole in my leg in order to relieve some of the pressure and eliminate some of the infected fluid, or a good portion of it, along with the whole thing with the antibiotics and whatnot. But anyway, because honestly, that's really the main thing. It's attempting to function on that leg in this condition. And I know what's best for me quality of life wise is going to be having access to a walker and a wheelchair, because the wheelchair will allow me to get to the places I need to get in a timely manner from my vehicle and getting back to my vehicle. But in general, it will allow me more mobility as far as distance as well as far as speed, because I can move a whole lot faster in the wheelchair versus on foot with a walker. And that's something I don't think that any hospital seems to really understand when it comes to this stuff. That's a very big quality of life problem that seems to be overlooked completely, because it's been overlooked in both situations. As far as my recovery was concerned, everybody under the sun was worried about how far I can walk, how far I can walk, how long I can walk, how far I can walk. It has nothing to do with the actual quality of life of my situation. That has to do with a metric that has been put in place to basically give them a point of cutoff, so that they can say, okay, well, at least he can walk this amount of distance, so he's well enough to be cut loose. Whether that's insurance cutting off paying, or just the hospital trying to free up a bed for the next needy patient, whatever the case may be. It's never it's not a metric that is functional to quality of life. It's a metric that's only functional to the healthcare industry, particularly the insurance industry. But anyway, yeah, hopefully I can get something situated in regards to a wheelchair, but we'll see how things play out, especially seeing as I have very little time to make things happen. But I've had more interesting miracles happen in a shorter period of time, so hoping for the best. And I already have, for the most part, plans as far as how I can make a wheelchair work and incorporate it into my general setup, let alone my setup at shows, because honestly, I've been needing to switch to a wheelchair of some sort. It's just been a matter of being able to get something that works for me and my size and my capabilities. And being able to buy it, because or buy it, get it gifted, or figure something else out, because insurance will not cover something like that. And I'm not broken enough for them. So it is what it is. But yeah, a wheelchair would be a lot more functional for me, because if nothing else, if all else fails and my body is just generally primarily incapable of much movement, if I can move one leg, I can definitely still get around, because I can slowly push myself backwards in order to move, and that doesn't take a lot of effort regardless of my weight. But also, in the grand scheme of things, with my double knee surgery recovery, one of the best things that I can do whether it's in a seated position or a standing position, is to push myself backwards. So basically, what it all boils down to is being able to either, if I'm standing, walk backwards, preferably with some form of like pulling something that gives more weight to the overall effort, or if I'm seated, being in a wheelchair, doing the same thing, because I'm still putting effort into the same muscle structure and strengthening the same tendons by doing the action of pushing myself backwards. So even if I'm stuck in a wheelchair or I have the option of a wheelchair, both of those are better for me in terms of having the option to do that, as well as the availability to do that, because one of the biggest downsides to all of this stuff has been utterly how slow I move when I walk. And that has to do with general capabilities in regards to my overall ability to walk, which is fine. I'm just very slow at it. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly, like, I don't know what the deal is behind that. I haven't quite stumbled upon what causes my speed to be what it is, but it's definitely slow in comparison to the average person, and it's definitely slow in comparison to what I need it to be to get things done. It's the reason that doing errands is a major pain, and I have to plan heavily in advance, because, as an example, like getting out of the van, going into Walmart to get a money order, and then coming out of Walmart and getting back to the van, and getting in the van, just everything involved with that, with the exception of the wait time in Walmart to get the actual money order. The time frame can be anywhere from, and this is with me parking in a spot that's for handicapped people, so not too far from the door. This process can take anywhere from an overall total of 10 minutes to 40 minutes. And it really just depends on how much energy I happen to have that day. I think, honestly, that's what it all really boils down to, more than anything else, is my energy levels. I'm working on figuring out what I can do to find a solution to my energy level problem, because I do suffer from extreme fatigue, which the wheelchair is a good way to circumvent that problem, because it takes very minimal effort to push myself forward or backward. Well, I guess it is harder forward, truth be told, because I'm using my arms versus my legs. But still, it gives me mobility that I would not otherwise have. It gives me speed that I would otherwise not have, especially if I can pull off getting something that has a motor on it, or I can DIY something that, as far as a motor being added on it. Whatever the case may be. Anyway, I know I'm kind of bouncing around, sticking kind of sort of to the same subject, but bouncing around in general. So I apologize for that. It is what it is. I'm just expressing myself, getting what I need to say out, and showing that I'm actually putting some serious thought into the current situation, the future of my situation, so on and so forth. So, so you guys know that I'm taking all of this seriously. Just as serious as I took it when I had my double knee surgery, but at the same time, that was then, this is now. So yeah, that's the long and short of it. I'm gonna be making some phone calls, or at least reaching out to some people to see what my situation is in regards to the walker situation. I'm sorry, I already have a walker. The wheelchair situation, because that would be a phenomenal addition to add on to my current list of tools. That being said, I am open to working with any of you guys, whether you know somebody that has one they're getting rid of, or if you have one you're getting rid of that you don't need anymore, or if you know where I can get one for super cheap that is considered bariatric, because a standard wheelchair will not work for me. I need something that's at least a width of 26 or 27 inches, because anything thinner than that, as far as the seat is concerned, starts hitting my hips, particularly the standard like 24-inch seat is to the point where, you know, it's practically bone on metal, because my hips themselves are roughly 24 inches in width. So, you know, that gives no room for any of the flesh whatsoever to do what it's supposed to do as far as me sitting in an actual seat and being able to use the wheelchair properly. So yeah, it's got to be at least 26 inches in width, and obviously can handle, you know, over 400 pounds. Well, honestly, to be safe, it's something that can handle over 5 or over 6. I'm not that heavy at the moment, but it's better to have something that can support more weight necessary than to teeter on the edge of the capabilities of the actual thing, just so that it doesn't break down on me fast. But anyway, yeah, if you guys have any connections whatsoever to help me get a wheelchair, that would be absolutely phenomenal, and that will make my life a whole lot easier. Yeah, that's it. I got nothing else. I'm not gonna go off on another tangent so that I can elongate this video unnecessarily. Everything is going quote unquote according to plan. I'll be out of here tomorrow. I'll be on the road pretty much same day, next day. Hopefully be back in Milwaukee no later than like Sunday. And we'll go from there. Hopefully, after I deal with my appointment next week, I'll be able to get the ball rolling, get situated as far as like outpatient wound care and so on and so forth. But things are moving in a positive direction, and that's what matters most. How soon, how easily, and how smoothly is up to the day-to-day, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the way it is at the moment, and I will keep you guys posted as far as the drive home is concerned, as well as the aftermath of the situation as a whole. So thanks for staying. Thanks for hearing me out from beginning to end here, as I know that I talk a lot. I know that I've had a lot to say, and I know I go off on tangents. So you are appreciated if you made it this far. Hopefully, as things return to some form of normalcy, I can focus this channel back on recording myself making things, and the travel aspect of running the business, and at least some level of clips from the shows. Just so people get a vibe of the overarching situation of what is nomadic lasers. That's what this channel was for to begin with. Yeah. So when you get a chance to, like, subscribe, all that normal nonsense that the algorithm needs in order to feed the beast and keep me relevant. And I will keep you guys posted on how things are moving forward. So until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.